Okay, so let's have this example on break-even analysis. So a practicum group of students in the college and economics majoring in business management and enrolled in the subject entrepreneurial research submits a feasibility study on the production of bags. A summary report reveals that the following projected data analysis for a particular month. So rent, administrative fees, maintenance, and depreciation of industrial sewing machines amounted to 2,160. The labor and material costs amount to 180 pesos per bag. Markup is set at 40%. Okay. So first, let's identify the given. So the 2,160 is the fixed cost. Okay. So FC is equal to 2,000. So let's write FC is equal to 2,160 pesos. And the variable cost is, so labor and material cost, so this one, 180 pesos. So variable cost is equal to 180 per unit. Okay, so those are the given. So first question, determine the selling price per unit. So the formula for selling price per unit is selling price per unit is equal to variable cost per unit over 1 minus percentage of markup. Okay? So let's solve. What is the variable cost per unit? So that's 180. So substitute. Then 1 minus percentage of markup, which is zero point 0.4 or 0.40 or 40%. So computing it, we have 180 over 1 minus zero point 0.4, that is zero point 0.6. Okay? So computing it in the calculator, we will get 300 pesos. Okay, so that is our selling price per unit. Okay, so the markup of 40% class, remember ha, means 40% of the selling price or 40% times 300. Okay, which is 120% goes to gross profit and 60% of 300, which is 180, goes to the variable cost per unit. Okay? So, next question. How many bags must be sold by the group for the month in order to break even? So, in letter B, we are asked to solve for the break-even point. So, to solve for the break-even, first, we have to set up the fixed cost, total cost, and the revenue cost. So, let's set up. The fixed cost is equal to Y equals 2,160. Then Y sub C, or the total cost, is equal to Y equals 180x plus 2,160 per unit. Okay? So we're in the 180 is the variable cost per unit. So times the numbers of unit plus the fixed cost, which is 2,160. Okay? And then the revenue equation, so y equals 300 times x. Okay? So to solve for it, equate the total revenue to total cost. So we have ito tayo, R equals YC. Therefore, substituting R is 300x equals the Y sub C is 180x plus 1,000 plus 2,160, and that is equal to simplifying 300x minus 180x, that is 120x equals 2,160. Okay, then divide both sides by 120, we will get 18 bags. Okay, so this is the number of bags to be sold in order to break even. Okay? Next. Next question. How much will be the revenue or sales at the break even point? Okay, so to solve for the y value of the break even point, so we will just substitute it to the revenue equation, which is R equals 300 times X. So to get the Y value, so substituting the number of bags or the number of quantities to be sold per unit in order to break even, so that's 18. Substituting in it, we will get 5,400 pesos. So this is the break-even price. Okay, so this is the BEP X value and this is the BEP Y value or the price. Okay. Next question for letter D. How many bags must be sold to recover the fixed costs? Okay. So, in letter D, to determine the quantity that must be sold to recover the fixed costs, equate revenue to fixed costs. So, R equals FC. So, we know that R is equal to 300x and FC is 2,160. So, dividing both sides by 300, we will get 7.2 or 8 bags. So, we must round up here because we have here decimal and bags, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng 0.2. So, 8 bags ang gagamitin natin. Okay. So, next question. What should be the sales volume in units and in pesos to obtain the profit of 3,000? To obtain 3,000. So, to get that, we will use the equation P equals revenue minus the total cost, Y sub C. So, since the profit will be equal to the revenue minus the total cost or the expenses. So, substituting P, yung profit na given, 3,000, and R is equal to 300x. Then, Y sub C is equal to 180x plus the fixed cost, 2,160. So, solving for x, so simplifying this equation, 300x minus 180x minus 2,160 equals 3,000. So, we have 300x minus 180x is 120x, and then 3,000 plus 2,160. So, lipat lang natin to dito sa kabila. So, we will get 5,160. Then, dividing both sides by 120, x is 43. So, we have to solve 43 bags in order to obtain the profit of 3,000. Okay? Next question, draw the break-even chart. Okay, so now we will draw the break-even chart. So, we will make the, wait, let's write the units in our x-axis and y-axis. Okay, then for y is the price. So, let's start with 1,080. Okay, so 2,160 is the fixed cost. 3,200. Okay, so the difference is per unit here is 1,080. So when you're making your graph, so it depends on you on what's the simple way or easier way to have your units para madali na mag-graph nyo yung MEP and yung mga lines. MEP, break-even analysis point, tsaka yung mga lines natin. So, dito, ginawa ko is sa number of units natin, tas dito sa Y natin is the price. Dito, X is the number of units. Okay, so dito ang pagitan is 4, then dito ang pagitan is 1,080. Okay, so nilagyan natin ng isa dito kasi ito yung fixed cost natin. Okay, so una nating, what are the equations? So the first equation is the revenue line or the Y sub C. The revenue equation. And that is 180x. Oh, wait. Wait. The revenue equation. Here. Again. The revenue equation is y equals 300x. Okay? And that y sub c or the total cost is 180x. So variable cost per unit plus the fixed cost 2,160. Then our fixed cost is y equals 2,160. Okay? So let's graph our fixed cost first. So yung fixed cost natin, class, remember, ito siya, y equals 2,160. So, dito broken lines, then dito is solid lines. Okay? So, yung fixed cost natin is just a horizontal line. Okay? So, y equals 2,160 and that is our FC. Okay? Next is yung ating break-even point. So, yung break-even point natin, alala nyo ba, class? Okay, so yung 18 bags and yung price natin is 5,400 for our break-even point. So, graph natin siya. So, 4,320 plus 1,080, that's 5,400. Okay? So, graph natin 18. So, 16, 17, 18 sa pagitan nito. Okay, then dito, yung y natin. Okay. So, that is our BEP, which is the 18 and 5,400. Okay. And then, pwede na nating i-graph yung lines natin. Ito muna. Y equals 300x. So, if x is 0, y is 0 for our revenue line. If x is 4, so let's compute. So, if x is 4 times 300, so that's 1,200. So, somewhere here. Okay. So, ang line natin is, pag ganito yung revenue line natin. Since we have 3 points na, we can draw our line. Okay. So, this is the y equals 300x or the revenue line. Okay? And then, graph naman natin si total cost natin. So, yung total cost natin is this one. So, from there, so ito yung y-intercept niya here. Kuha pa tayo ng isang point para makapag-draw tayo. So, if, ano bang, mas maganda natin kunin? So, 180x, kuha tayo ng point sa 8. If x is 8, so 180 times x, so times 8 plus 2, 160. So, 3,600. And that is somewhere, tayo, 8, tapos 3,600. So, somewhere here. Yan. So, now we can draw. Ay. So, tatandaan natin, class, yung total cost natin is mag-i-intersect siya dito. Dadaan din siya dito sa point na to. Ayan. Ayan. So, ito naman yung graph natin na y equals 180x plus 2, 160. Or, yung total cost natin. Okay. So, this is the graph of our break-even chart.